Okay, hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Heavenly Food, and you are watching Heavenly Food, John 3:12. And John 3:12 is a scripture, if you do not know, and the scripture says, if I tell you of earthly things and you do not believe, then how can I tell you of heavenly things? Then yeah, hence my name, Heavenly. Okay, so I didn't want to make this video, but also I did want to make this video because something happened to me the other night, and I want to talk about this video because I feel as though spiritually, I feel like I've found the reason why a lot of trans women are targeted, in a sense, by other men. You know, because it's crazy to think about it. It's like, y'all know y'all just targeted like what once used to be a man, you know, and now it's a woman. And I feel like a lot of straight men are so haunted by the societal brainwashings of the patriarchy that they don't know how to express affection towards something that seems taboo. I mean, granted, I was born in 99 and we didn't have trans children or people around us at that time. This only became a thing for me. Like, I didn't start experiencing like the non-binaries and the other queer parts of the spectrum until I was like high school. And when I mean high school, I mean like literally like my senior year. You know, grew up around gays, but not the rest of the queer peoples, okay? And when it comes to identities and identifying and genders and things like that, you know, I want to say the LGBs are sex. The rest of those is about identities and gender, okay? So, I want to talk about this because I feel like I had an experience, and after that experience, I had a realization of, oh, if I wasn't the person who I was, like if I wasn't self-aware, if I wasn't okay in my sexuality, if I wasn't okay with how I identify, I could be one of those people who would have something against trans women and not realize it. You know what I'm saying? And it could, and you know, now, you know, it could be one of those things where I have internalized hate towards a group of people that I don't even know, have never even met for real. So that's why I wanted to come on here and say this. So just give me a second, y'all need some. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because of, you know what, I'm gonna go get my tripod, hold on. Because I can't be holding this. And I feel like I'm not getting the lights. It's very overcast here. I like overcast because I feel like things are brighter. I don't know, like I like overcast more than sunny days because I feel like things be brighter. Like, I used to have a SUV and it had a panoramic moonroof. And I started realizing that in my car, like, oh, my car is brighter on days when there's overcast. And I feel it's easier for me to, you know, let my panoramic roof open my panoramic roof with an overcast, because whereas when it's sunny, you know, the sun and then it'd be hot. You know, that's just me. I like overcast. Okay. So, I'm starting off this video, and I'm going to talk about why I hesitated for a second to make this video. And the reason why I hesitated to make this video is because I feel like I was exposing myself a little bit, because I'm getting really personal. Like, this is something that actually happened to me, and I feel like it's so personal. But also, is it really exposing if it's coming from the horse's mouth? You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing else. It's not nobody else. It's me. So, I feel like I just got to get it off my chest, because like I said, I don't have any internalized hates towards trans people, or trans women to be more specific, but again, I just never grew up with them. I never grew up around them. To this day, I probably haven't really met one. I'm 25, so I haven't really met a trans person, man or woman. But I do know that there's a lot more trans women being targeted, and this is a part of it that I feel like it stems from. And I feel like it stems from men having straight cis straight hetero men having attraction towards women, because at the end of the day, they're still women. You know, they do their makeup, they do their hair, they wear really nice clothes, and there's an attraction towards that. And me, when it comes to my own sexuality, I actually don't care. Like, I've gotten to that point. Like, I've grown up being attracted to men, but as I've gotten older, I've realized that actually I really don't care, you know, because now me personally, my first preference would be men, but I've had women who've had crushes on me, who've liked me, who've come on to me, you know, and whether they were straight or gay. And for me, it just never really mattered. You know, it never, like, I never was like, a girl like me, I don't like no girl. Now, personally, like, if I see a pretty girl, am I gonna go after her? Like, am I gonna go approach her and be like, oh, you're cute, da, 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 I wanna get to... I've done it. But it has to be somebody that I actually was really attracted to, you know. So, I'm not gonna put no labels on myself. because I don't know. You know, you don't know until you know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know I would like a woman until I saw a really attractive woman that I would consider that I liked, right? So whatever. So for me, my sexuality, I don't care. I don't care. If you treat me right, if you're good to me, you're nice, you're funny, we on the same type of pages, we have same interests, same world views, I really don't care. Man, women, trans, I don't care. Gay, straight, I don't care. I have no issues at all. I have no hang-ups about it, you know. Cool. So the other night, this is the story now. This is what happened. I'm going to explain my experience, okay? So the other night, I'm in my bed and I'm watching Pornhub, okay? Now, I don't watch porn. And again, I feel like I'm exposing myself, so just bear with me. Especially on the internet. Bear with me. So the other night, I was watching Pornhub. Now, I don't watch it often. It's every now and then, every blue moon. I don't have any relations. I am abstinent, actually. I've been abstinent for, a couple years. No, not a couple years, I'm lying. Maybe like a year and some months. So I've been abstinent, and it's not an issue for me. I've gone abstinent in the past, on and off, on and off, on and off. So it's new to me. It's not new to me, excuse me. It's not new to me. And so to get me through those rough times, you know, a girl might dip and dab on Pornhub every now and then. And when I mean every now and then, I mean every now and then. I mean, like, it could be months, and then I'll be like, oh, let me get on there. It could be a year. I'm like, I ain't been on there in a while. Let me see. You know, it just helps sometimes. Now, here's where I feel like I'm exposing myself. Here's where we get into the deep depths of things. So, on Pornhub, I never liked straight porn. And I know a lot of people say that. I feel like a lot of straight porn is dominated by men. And I just personally don't like it. It's not enough, because I'm seeing something that's, you know, and then also a lot of porn is dominated by white people. I don't like, I'm not trying to say white people have sex all the time. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. And sex and porn is performative anyway, so watching straight porn is just, I feel like it's overdone. And so then I ventured into lesbian porn. Now, the girls. Ooh. Okay, I'm sorry y'all about the wind. The wind is kind of strong out here. Okay, y'all, so I moved to my shed so y'all can better hear me or whatever. Okay, so now so for straight porn, I went to lesbian porn. I was like, okay, that's not something I see every day. I'm not a gay woman, so I don't see lesbians doing it. I've never really experienced that. So, okay, cool. I got bored after some point, okay? I'm just talking about over time. Got bored, okay? So then I started venturing off. Now, I have a family member of mine who told me that they like to watch anime. And I was like, girl. And she was like, yeah, it's just something about it not being real. Like, it's something about it not being, you know, it's something about it not being real, like, because it's animated or it's cartoons and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I can see that. And that's when I started realizing that people just want to see something different. It's not necessarily, now they do have the fetishes and the kinks on there, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just needing to see something different sexually and see and really exploring, you know. I'm talking about that side of porn and just exploring it, not exploiting, just exploring, okay? So that's when I realized, you know what, maybe I need to start looking into something. You know, when I do go in there, like I said, I don't go in there often. I don't have an addiction. But when I do go in there, maybe I need to start seeing something different. So I ventured into the world of trans people in porn, okay? So I started into, because again, like I said, I didn't grow up around trans people. I don't see them in my everyday life. Even now as an adult, I don't see them in my everyday life. So it was just something new to me, just, you know. And still into the white realm of things, you know, still seeing pale colored people, but it was still something different, you know. And then I seen all the ways that trans people get down, you know, and I was like, oh wow, you know, it's just interesting. I'm not gonna get into the details of it because that's not what this video is about. But this is what happened the night that I started watching, okay? So I didn't start it that night. It was a couple nights ago. I did not start it. I was already into that realm, but I'm just saying this is what happened, okay? Now we get into what happened that night, okay? So I started watching it. I watched like 3 videos, and I like long videos, okay? I don't like nothing short because I'm not a quick person, you know what I'm saying? I'm not no mini girl. So I like long stuff. Okay, so I'm watching, and after I got done watching, right, I went to sleep, as many people do. You know, after you didn't, you know, post-nut clarity kicks in. You be like, I did this to go to sleep, so let me go to sleep now. I went to sleep for maybe an hour or 2, right? And then I woke up. Now this is where things got weird for me. I woke up. Now I'm okay. So this, and a reason why I'm bringing it to my John 3:12 channel, because even though that's a Bible scripture, this is a spirituality channel. I talk about spiritual things, you know, manifesting. I talk about law of attraction. I talk about my experiences when it comes to dealing with things that are unseen, things that are unknown, things that are beyond perception. So this is where this video is coming from. So I woke up and I felt a little weird. And I woke up. I felt weird. I felt like I needed to cover myself. I felt like, you know, I just felt like all eyes was on me. And I was like, oh, what's going on? You know, like, what? okay. So then once I covered myself up, because I naturally sleep with stuff over my head, but this wasn't that. This felt like it felt like I needed to do this. Like something was in my room, or stuff, entities, energies, like all energies was pointed to me, and I could feel it. I don't know what it was. I've never had this experience before, but it felt like that. So after that, I covered myself up. I was like, okay. Like, it was just anxiety. Like, what the fuck? Like, I felt like shame or something. I don't know. So I covered myself up and I tried to go back to sleep. Here's where things took a left turn. As I was sleeping, I started having this dream. And in this dream, I was acting out. Like, it was from my POV. And it felt like it was me. But I was acting out, child. I was screaming. I was yelling. I was just, just screaming. Just going off, going crazy. I was all up on the walls, on the ceilings, like, up like Spider-Man, like this, and I'm screaming at the dogs. I have 3 dogs. I'm screaming at one of my dogs, and they just looking at me, and I'm like, I'm going off. Like, it felt like I had something in me, and I was just screaming. I was just you know, it was a different experience. And then I was in my room, and I'm screaming, still screaming in the bed, just don't touch, just doing all the most. And my mom came in, and now my mom was in this dream. She never said nothing the whole dream. She came in there and she laid next to me on the bed, and I'm still screaming. But my mom stayed right by my side. She did not leave. I'm screaming, and then fast forward to the dream. Now I'm in like a doctor's office or something, and the doctor's office is like, okay, we're gonna have to put her on some medications. We're gonna have to do something. Like, it felt like I needed an exorcism. It really did. It felt like I had something in me, and that's why I'm acting out, because it wasn't me. It wasn't me at all. But I'm watching it through my eyes, and I'm like, why? You know, it didn't feel like me either. It felt like something had taken over, and it was just aggressive. And my mom was like, she didn't say nothing. She was just like, hey, we're going to have to put her down. We're going to have to put some medicine in her, because she's erratic. She's aggressive. She's yelling. She's screaming. She's doing all of these things. And she's not calming down. And my mom, she didn't say anything. She just was like, you know, silently agreed to, you know, go ahead. And so after that, I woke up. I was like, what the fuck? I woke up, and again, when I woke up, I had that anxiety feeling, but this time it was stronger. And I woke up, I was sweating. I was hot. I was, you know, and I felt my body just feeling like you know, just my hairs was on 10 all over, and I just was feeling it. I was, whatever the fuck it was, baby, I was feeling it. It felt like people was in my room. It felt like evil was upon me. Okay, I don't know how else to explain it. But it felt like people, entities, energies was in my room, and they were not of love. They were not of God. And, you know, and so this what ended up happening. So I felt the energies, and I was like, okay, what the fuck do I do? Like, I felt the energies, and I was scared. I was. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And as I'm thinking of like what to do, because I've never been in this situation before, it's this quiet voice in my mind was telling me what to do, giving me instructions on what to do. So the instructions started saying, I'm love, I am 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 love. And I said it. So I started repeating it. I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I am love, I am love, right? Because that's my go-to. Now, sad story, I took shrooms one time, and I've had that feeling before where my first time really going on a shrooms trip, it was like an initiation, I felt like. And the initiation was like, you got 2 doors. You can pick this door, you can pick this door. And I picked one door, right? And I went through the door, and I felt like all evil was just surrounding me. All evil was just surrounding me, right? And I kept saying, I am loved, I am loved, I am loved, I am loved. And then the evil went away. And then I was able to have the most precious shrooms trip I've ever had, you know? And after that, the more I took shrooms, I never had got tested like that. I never had to get initiated, because I guess I was being tested to see, okay, what side you falling on? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's the kind of experience you're going to have. You know, and also, so I've kind of been through this experience before where I felt like just enveloped by evil. And the only way to get out of it is you got to rep your set. And I said, I'm love. I am love. I don't have no evil, no malice, nothing in my heart. I am love. And I am of lovely things. I am loved. L-O-V-E-D. And I am love. Okay? Period. So after I did all of that, and I started saying, I am love. I am love. Back to the main story. I'm like, I am love. I am love. And whatever evil entity was in that room, in my room with me, guess what? I said, guess what? My mama loved me. Yeah, my mama loved me. My mama never left my side. My mother never left my side. My mother loves me. Okay? She loves me. She didn't leave me. She tried her best with me, but she laid there in the bed with me, and I'm screaming. I'm going crazy. And she never said a word. She only showed through her actions that she still loves me. My mama loved me, and guess what I said? I said, I bet your mama never loved you. I was talking the biggest shit, because I don't know what the fuck that was, but you don't come up in here trying to jack me, the fuck? Like, I wasn't letting that happen. I don't know what it was, bro, but I wasn't finna let that happen. You weren't finna jack me, my spirit, my consciousness, not my body, on any planes, on any dimensional world, in any energies, any entities. I don't fuck with that. And y'all know that. And y'all tried to, I don't know what it was, but I felt tested. And I felt like, y'all don't know who the fuck I am? My name is Heaven Lee. Like, what y'all thought this was? So I was like, my mama loved me. My mama loved me. I am loved. I'm loved. Your mama didn't love you. I was like, your mama ain't never loved you, but my mama loved me. And you saw that. You saw that in the dream. You saw that in the dream. She loved me. She never left my side. And I was like, don't fuck with me. And I kept saying, and then the voice telling me to rebuke it. I rebuke you. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you. I cast you out. I cast you out. I was going off, as I should, because don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't come up in here trying to play with me like that. I don't do that. Okay. So I did that, and then I said, don't make me wake my dogs up. I'll go get my dogs right now. Don't make me go get my dogs, because dogs can sense those kind of energies, you know. And I remember this one time I was super high, right? And my dog, he could tell I was not feeling good, and I was shaking because I was so high. Took too many edibles, and he literally grabbed my legs with his arms, with his paws, and laid on my legs because I was shaking so bad. So that tells me my dogs got my back regardless. Any point in time, my dogs got my back, because they can tell when I'm going through something and it's not normal. Excuse me, y'all, about my mouth. I just brushed my teeth, so my lips a little chapped, and I ain't got my chapstick with me. So yeah, I kept saying, don't make me wake my dogs up, because they'll come in here and shut that shit down, because dogs can sense that. They can sense that. If I'm sensing it, I know they can, you know. And their perception is a lot more keener than mine. So I kept saying, don't make me wake my dog up. Don't make me. I rebuke you. I cast you out. I am loved. My mama love me. Your mama don't love you. I was saying all that shit. So after that, I started to feel better. Like the energy started to go away. And I was like, yeah. And I kept saying it until I felt better. I just kept repeating those words, those sayings. I just kept saying it until I felt like whatever was in that room with me was gone. Whatever was around me was gone. And after that, my dog woke up and came and scratched on my door. Now, my dog sleeps in the living room with the other dogs. So the fact that he came at that moment, yeah, he sensed it. He sensed it. Now, it could have been because my mama coughed. And my dog don't like sudden noises. He don't like coughing, sneezing, none of that. He don't like none of that. So it could have been one of those. But the fact that he came at that moment in time showed me that my dog was standing 10 toes, okay? So after that, I was like, I took a minute. Now, I'm the type of person where it takes me a bit of time to kind of understand what be going on with me, or it take me a moment to process things. So at the time it happened, I didn't realize what was going on. You know, I couldn't, and also I didn't have time to think. You know, I had to act because it was that dire of a situation, I guess, because whatever guardian angels, whatever spirit guides, protection I have on me, that was on me. They was telling me what to do. You know, and I did it. So, and after, like I said, after a while, the feeling started going away. I started feeling better. I started feeling okay. I started feeling like I could relax now. I could breathe, you know, and so I let my dog in my room. He laid in my bed. And so, yeah, my dog sleeps in my bed. They spoiled, so just don't come for me in the comments. And they're clean, okay? He had a bath. So I was like, okay, fuck, what was that? What is going on? And I started to think, like, you know what? I am so glad that I'm not one of those people who would have thought that, oh, I just watched trans people. Trans people are evil. I just had an evil experience after watching trans porn, so now trans people are evil, and I need to go kill all the trans. You see where I'm going? You see where I'm going with this? I felt like it was one of those situations that if I was not who I was, if I was not the person who I am, if I was not protected and guided, if I wasn't who I am, if I didn't have the self-awareness, the intuition to know who I was, I could have really taken that situation, and that entity probably would still be on me and probably still would be trying to take over and cause harm. And because the last thing on my mind was watching porn and trans porn, you know, it could have really been dire for a trans woman, because I could have been spewing all kind of hate. I could have been, because the way the dream came, I was just erratic. I was crazy. I was saying things. I was screaming. I was, you know, and yeah, so I felt better. And I felt like, okay, I'm glad that I didn't take it that way. Especially also, I want to say, like, if you do shrooms, that kind of stuff happens on shrooms. So that's why I brought up the shroom story about me choosing the door, and I choose the door, and all of a sudden, because I could have gave in to the evil. I could have been like, oh, I'm scared, I don't know what to do, and, you know, and who knows where I would be right now. I could have had a fucked up experience on shrooms, you know, which a lot of people do. But because I know who I am, I know who I am, I know what I am, I know who I am, I know I am love, period, point blank. So I say that those words anytime I feel those type of energies, anytime I feel like I'm in those type of situations where there's evil, because there's evil around, even though we don't think about it, it's still all types of shit going on that you are unseen, you cannot perceive, right? So I know if I say I'm love, I'm good. That's all you need to say, because I am is your divinity, okay? And by me calling my divinity forward, I know who I am, baby. They must not have told you. You can't come over here and do what you try to do to me. Not me. I'm not meek. I'm not weak. I'm not no weak little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna come over here and think because I can't see you, right? Because I can't hear you, you know? But I still perceived the energy. I still felt your presence. Whatever presence it was, I still felt it. But you're not gonna pump me. I'm not no little bitch. You know what I'm saying? I called in my divinity, and guess what? guess what? I hurt your feelings. I hurt your fucking feelings. I said my mother loved me. Your mama didn't love you. You know what I'm saying? So I started realizing, like, oh shit, this is why there are people out here who feel like they have to harm trans women. And it's not people of flesh who you have to be worried about. I've got the scripture in the Bible, but they tell you in the Bible, you ain't got to be worried about people of flesh. It's these entities and these energies that are trying to take over someone's flesh to do harm, to do these things. But I want that kind of person. You want to use me for your evil agendas and fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. I don't hate trans women. For what? I just told y'all my whole experience. I don't have much experience with them. I don't. And if I was able to get off on trans women, you know, then obviously I'm attracted to it. It didn't bother me. I was like, oh, because to me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This, like, because I'm gonna get a little explicit here. To me, a trans woman never bothers me in that kind of way where I feel threatened or whatever, because to me it's still a dick. To the trans woman who keep their penises, to me, you still have a penis. So to me, I would still be attracted to you because I want the real thing. I guess that's why I don't like that's why I'm not attracted to lesbian women, or because they use straps. And to me, I just can't fake the funk. I'm sorry. I guess that's why I'm not gay. I can't fake the funk. You know, unless it's like double-sided, then okay, I can see what you're feeling, because I'm feeling it too at the same time. But at the end of the day, they have a penis. So I could care less who is attached to, because that's what I'm attracted. That's what I like. I like that experience that a penis can give to me. So I really don't care who is attached to, if it's a man or if it's a man who's transitioned and now it's a woman. And I don't care. And you look good, you know, you're tall like me. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all who it's attached to. I don't care. It's pleasure. You have sex for pleasure. So if you have something that I know gives me pleasure, I could care less who it's attached to. I really don't. I'm talking about gender, talking about presenting wise. I don't care. So to me, I felt like it was a kind of a miss. You know, maybe this was a low level entity or something that thought you could just, but okay, I brought this up, and I brought up the trans and the Pornhub thing because, okay, so yesterday, shout out to the Peace Dealer. He's an astrologer, a black male astrologer on YouTube. Love him. I love his content. I've been watching him since 2021. He ain't never disappointed me. He ain't never led me astray. I like what he does. I like his music. Check him out if you like astrology and you like to see black men do astrology. Okay. So he did a non-consent video. I might have to go get my iPad so I can bring it up. But in the non-consent video, he talked about the transits, talked about what's going on. And then at the end of the video, we did the non-consent. And in the non-consent portion, he pulled up a form of non-consent. Now, I know what a non-consent form is. I've seen them before. A lot of people post them on social media to let the world know, like, I don't consent to anything taking over. No corporations, no entities, no religions, no governments. None of that taking over, using my body, my image, my consciousness, my astral body, my energetic body, my physical body, my ethereal body. I don't consent to none of that shit being used on any worlds, off world, on Earth, on Gaia, in this dimension, other dimensions, time, space, continuums, all that shit. I don't consent. Don't be using my shit for profit. Don't be using my shit for a gain. Don't be misleading me. Don't be using my image or my consciousness or my bodies or my whatever for harm, to harm others. Don't be trying to control me. I don't consent to no organizations, no gangs, no groups, affiliations, no churches, no none of that. I don't. And so there's a part of a consent form where it says I don't consent to any form of like an entity or an energy or organization or religion trying to take me over and use my consciousness, my body, my whatever, to my name, my likeness, to I don't consent to those things trying to take me over, or any part of me that I claim is me, I'm sovereign, trying to use me or come into me or come onto my, you know, attached to me through images, videos, visuals, and music. Okay? Now that I'm bringing that part of the non-consent form to say, I feel as though, because when I read that, I said, oh shit, that's probably what happened when I was watching Pornhub. That something, entity, whatever, came through a visual. I'm talking spiritually now. Okay, we're talking about things that are unknown, things that are unseen, things that are occult. Okay, spirits. Something came into my room. I'm not saying through that video specifically. It could just be me on the website, right? Or me personally. You know, it used my whatever to come through, and it was in my room. Or it was on me, whatever, or trying to, whatever. And it came through those visuals because I was distracted watching something and then getting pleasure from it. And it came through while I didn't notice, okay, because my guards were down. And it came through. And I realized when I was reading that non-consent portion, I was like, oh shit, that's what happened. Like, to me, it just made sense. I said, okay, there's something tried to come through while I was watching that. And it came through a visual. So Okay, now the non-consent came after that, but I was able to connect it back. I was like, that's the only logical reason or thing I could think of that was why that happened. Because I've never, like I said, never really experienced that outside of shrooms, and that wasn't really a thing coming to me. That was me leaving my body for the first time, having an out-of-body experience for the first time. And I guess my spirit guys, because they fuck with me so hard, and God, you know, I'm God's favorite, they was like, look, we can show you a lot of shit, but we need to know what side you want. Because one thing about God, and I really need people to hear me when I say this, God does not care. God only says yes. So if you want to have this kind of experience or this kind of experience, it doesn't matter. God gonna give you either one. And I think that's why the story of Job is, people think about it in the physical senses, like of what God actually did to Job. But we have to understand that these are not real people. These are not real lives. The Bible is we have to understand that the story of Job and the interactions between Job and God and Satan. Satan is anything external that you believe outside of yourself. God is just your consciousness, right? And Job is just these state of beings. So anybody like Job and all of God's stories, so like at the pool of Bethesda, the man who couldn't walk, that's a state of consciousness. That's a state that you're in. He was in a state of, he couldn't move, couldn't walk. He was in a state of depression. He was in a state of whatever, because he couldn't fucking walk. He couldn't use his legs, right? So he thought. These are just states of beings that we're in. They're not real people. God is just the spirit of God. God is representing our divinity. But they're using it in a story outside of us so that we can see the connection. And that's why it's always like God's here and we're here. But actually it's here. You know, it's not one is above. It's not none of that. It's here. And Satan's not below. It's here. Satan represents everything external. And the reason why you think of hell, you think of down, is because we're on the third dimension. And the third dimension is the heaviest. It's the most dense, right? So the third dimension compared to other dimensions, you think lower. But actually, the dimensions go like this. Okay? That's what that means. Okay. Also, if you've ever seen an electron, like, get excited. So, like, energy goes into an electron, and it jumps up, and it comes brighter. And then when it loses all the energy, and it drops back down. That's kind of what I think energetically. If you want to imagine something. Imagine, like, an electron getting hit with energy, and then going up, and then coming back down. Anywho, getting off topic. Not really, but really. So, I wanted to say that when I read that part of the consent form, I realized that some entity, through that image or visuals that I was watching through porn, just in general, but I'm glad that I am not the type of person who had that experience and thought, oh my God, I need to go hurt a trans woman. Trans women are evil. Trans women are bad. Da-da-da-da-da. Because I don't believe that for real. That's not me. That's not who I am. I'm love. I love all things, because all things are, everyone is me pushed out. So if I was to feel that hate towards a trans woman, guess what? It's really because I feel shame. I feel ashamed of my own femininity. I feel ashamed of my own womanhood. I feel ashamed of my own self that identifies with that, right? Because we're not separate. We're actually all the one, right? That's why my dog came in that room, because I've had him since he was a puppy. Okay. The nigga may run away every now and then, but he know who his mama is. Okay. Period. So that's my son. And I actually had a dream a couple days ago. I actually had a dream where he ran away in a dream, and I went to go get him. But by the end of the dream, y'all, I was walking down the street with my actual son, like my actually brown skinned son. I didn't even give a fuck that Gelato, like, Gelato was my son. He's my son. Cause how the fuck you run away in the dream, and then at the end of the dream, I'm walking down the street with my actual son, and he's like 8 or 9, and he got long hair, and his hair is in plaids and everything. It never fazed me that I didn't have Gelato. Why? That's the name of my dog. Actually, I'll show y'all. He's here. Gelato. Hey. Hold on, let me finish recording. I got you. It's time for the meat. I'll treat him. Anywho, so can I finish? I got you. He won't even say all this till I said something to him. Anyway, so that's my real son. Okay. Anyway, so that also let me know that my first child is gonna. Y'all hear him fussing at me? My first child is gonna be a boy. If I ever have kids, it'll be a boy. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to say I think a lot of reasons why people have so much hate and distaste and feel like trans women are evil is because it's not them. It could be an entity trying to convince them and use their body to do harm against trans women, you know? And it's unfortunate that some men, cis, hetero men, don't do a lot of work on themselves. They don't go because they've been brainwashed by the patriarchy and they've neglected their femininity. So anything that reminds them of the feminine energy within the divine feminine energy within themselves, because everybody has both. I'm coming. Anything that reminds them of that which they have suppressed within themselves, I feel as though is why they choose to harm whatever in reality reflects that they feel shameful about. Like I was watching Baddies the other day, and I was seeing them all in the club, and they was twerking on each other. They be sucking each other's nipples. You know, they be kissing each other. They be having a good time. And then they sober up and they want to fight each other. But while they're under the influence, they could care less about each other, because that's women. And I think women like the energy of women is very free. You know, it's very much, I'm gonna do what I want. And this is another woman, so it's easier to have that guard down and just let loose with another woman, because women, divine feminine energy naturally carries that, especially when you're born a naturally feminine woman. Now, cis women, you know, now I'm not saying trans women can't have that same experience, because they still have the divine energy within them and they've chosen to embrace it on the outside, right? But I think, and I hope that they're embracing it on the inside too. So I'm gonna just say that and I'll move on. But I think a lot of men feel shameful about that part of themselves, and how a lot of men, you can't see men go to the club in groups unless they're gay, you know. And there are some straight men who do gay stuff and are straight, but that's like 1 in millions, right? And who could pull it off, you know, and play around with it, because they really don't care what other people may think. And some straight men are not doing that to attract another man, or they're not doing it for men or for the idea of, you know, their friends, you know. They're just doing it because that's what they want to do in that moment, and they're able to pull it off and make it look funny, you know, like a lot of straight men who do gay stuff or feminine stuff to be funny, and they can pull it off, or do like feminine voices, like comedians who can do feminine voices, they can pull it off and make the joke and the voice sound good, is because they don't care. You know, they know at the end of the day, I could do this and it doesn't affect who I am. Same thing with me and the entity in my room. I know who the fuck I am. Same thing when I was on shrooms. I know who the fuck I am. I know what I'm not finna tolerate, and I know what I am, and I know what I'm okay with. I don't take shrooms to, you know, and I think a lot of people who, you know, have not sorted things within themselves, they take shrooms and they have really bad experiences, because in one way, shape, or form, they had that initiation. Or in one way, shape, or form, they incarnated with attachments from other worlds, from other contracts, from other lives, you know, all types of shit. That's what I'm saying. We can't really be mad at the person, because we don't know energetically what's unseen and what's unknown to the eye of what the fuck is really going on. That's why you gotta have discernment. And you also gotta trust your intuition, because I could have been freaking out so bad that I wasn't even listening to my intuition tell me what the fuck to do. And also, after having that experience, y'all know, I feel like unfuckwittable. I really do. I feel so unfuckwittable. Like, I feel like I could, that situation can happen again, and I don't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. Like, you know, you ever have those dreams where you be getting so mad in a dream against something, like you fighting against something, or you going against something, and you get so mad in a dream where you start screaming in the dream or showing your real emotion, and you can't hear it. And I've always wondered why. Like, why when I get mad in a dream, or I'm ready to like stand up for myself or whatever, I can't hear it, you know, or my voice will go out, something like that. And I think it's because in real life I've never heard myself say it, right? So my consciousness doesn't know how I would sound. It just knows how I would react, but the sound is missing. And then I had that experience in real life, and I'm like, I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. I am so loved. I am unconditionally loved. So you're not going to do anything to me. You can't touch me. You could try, and they tried. And that's also another thing I want people to understand. These entities cannot come onto you unless you give it permission. It's just like a vampire. Vampire can't enter your house until you say, come in. It's you. You have to give that permission. And the only way to not give it permission is you got to know who you are. You got to know what you stand on. Now, me saying I am loved, to me, and when I was having my stroke, but yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I just feel like some straight men are not doing the work so that, and I'm talking about all straight men, because I feel like when you're gay, a gay male, you've built a sisterhood. But even though some men be like, oh, I don't hang around other gays, that's your preference. But for the ones who do, I feel like you kind of build a sisterhood. Even with some cis women, you build a sisterhood, and you feel comfortable enough to let those things out and say and talk about those things. I hope you do. That is my hope for humanity. I hope that there is these conversations going on, because at the moment right now, I don't have any friends. So that's why I felt compelled to give it on my channel. And also, I just wanted to talk about this. So I don't care that I feel like I'm exposing myself. I feel that's just a part of me who is a very private person. Like, I could have this conversation with myself and be totally okay with it. And I might tell like a close person, but I would never in a million years, I never thought I'd post this. But I really, you know, I don't know, but just give me if you have a similar experience, I would love to see what people say. I'm only welcoming positive comments or people who have had similar experiences, or, you know, I don't really care if you disagree with me or whatever I've said and you feel like I'm whatever. I don't care. I said this because I felt so good talking about the stuff that I actually give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give a fuck about other people who are being targeted for no fucking reason. And me having that experience, and that's why I really like shrooms, y'all, because shrooms, I remember I took shrooms one time and I was on my period, or I was like my first day, like the next day was my period, but I took it like that night, the night before. I don't recommend. I do not recommend, but the experience was worth it. Only thing I didn't like is that it makes your... I've actually taken shrooms on my period twice. I don't recommend. Especially if you're a woman who has cramps. That shit don't mix well. And I mean, if you're taking like the raw form of shrooms, like just eating the mushroom, if you're doing lemon teching, that probably would be better. A chocolate bar, the polka dots, that probably would be better. It wouldn't probably hurt as much because it's more it's not as concentrated. But yeah, if you're just eating them raw, don't do it on your period. It really intensifies your cramps, and you already feel like you're dying, and cramps make you feel like you're dying too. So at that point, you double down. You know what I'm saying? Double homicide. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that I don't really have nothing else to add to that. But yeah, I really feel like I feel good that I did the non-consent form video with Peace Deal, shout out PD, and I feel really good about that because now I know. That's why I said I feel unfuckwittable, because. So I also just want to say, you know what? I don't give a fuck. You know, I love everybody. I really don't have a reason to hate nobody because I'm such a. I see why you're doing this, and I'm gonna have compassion. I'm learning to have compassion with knowing what I know. It may not really even know. It might not even be valid a week from now, but knowing what I know at the moment, I'm just gonna try to have compassion. Try to have compassion for one another. You know, now of course I'm not saying that straight men who cause harm, or anybody who causes harm to trans women shouldn't be put under the jail. Because if you don't have no reason, you need to check your spirit bodies and make sure ain't nobody. This is coming from you. Like, you genuinely don't like trans women for a valid reason. Because I feel like if I can't come up with no valid reason, bro, like, it's not me. It's not me. I like trans women. I like the gays. I like the straights. I like whoever. And you don't even have to like me. Because I ain't got no issues with nobody. I don't care. Yeah. People who smoke weed, we don't care. Anyhow, look at my dog. He ready, y'all. He ready to eat so bad. He mad. Look at him. You ready to eat? You ready to eat, JoJo? Come on, let's go eat. Come on, let's eat. Let's go eat. And I forgot what I was talking about. Y'all, I took an edible, so excuse me, because the time I'm recording on Snapchat, so the time the video saves, I end it and start a new one. I done forgot what the fuck I said. It don't take long at all, but I just forgot. Hold on, let me go watch the last video and I'll come back. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go feed my dog. So if you watched this video up until this point, thank you very much. And make sure you subscribe, check out my other videos. And I will be posting more. I'm coming. I'm gonna try to start posting more of these now that I feel free. I feel like I can talk about whatever I want for this channel. I need to get the videos up. Also, check out my other channel. I have a foodie diary page, like where I do food stuff, and then I have cannabis stuff. So just check the link in the bio, the link tree. You'll see to all my socials.